Sorry. Me too.
Okay, so on the eye, there's some outer structures that are important to see. So this part right here, this really rough covering, this is going to be the cornea. And all of these pieces that are kind of pulled out like this, right next to the cornea are going to be the bulbar conjunctiva. It's kind of got that darkish color to it. If you come towards the back here, you're going to see this fat. This is called the post-orbital adipose. And you'll see that there's some brownish color in there too. Those are the 6 eye muscles. There's 6 of those, and the model is over there. So we cut through it. The lens is on the inside of the eye like that. So the lens is going to be the major thing that separates the two cavities, the anterior cavity and the posterior cavity. If you take the lens out, the anterior cavity can be divided into chambers. So there's going to be the chamber that is right next to the pupil, which is this opening right here that I've got the probe in. That's the pupil. That's the anterior chamber. And then the posterior chamber is going to come up kind of underneath the lens, right here on the bottom of that ciliary body. You'll notice that there's that black sun-like structure right there that's got those rays coming out. That's called the ciliary body, and that's what's going to help to make this watery substance that fell out when I cut the eye open. Let's see, retina of the eye. So this is what the vitreous humor, which is this jelly, pushes back into the back of the eye. This is what the light's going to focus on. So it's got this brownish color. If you kind of scrape that aside, you're going to see this bluish, really pretty layer. This is called the tapetum lucidum. And then the layer right below that, if I pull this up, you can see you see this black layer right here. That's going to be the choroid layer, and so it's blackish blue because it's vascularized. That's where all the blood vessels are. And if I keep pulling and I start to scrape, I'm going to hit this really hard bottom layer. This is going to be the sclera. You'll notice that this is like really thick. In some eyes it's thicker than others. And so all of this whole thing between the probe and my finger, that's all sclera. So the iris is going to be the colored part of the eye. So if you're looking through the cornea, you're not going to be able to see it very well. So I guess I'll show, yeah, this one's much better. So right here in the anterior posterior chamber, there's going to be this little flap that's right below the choroid body. That's the actual iris. It's the colored part of the eye. So that's the iris, and if you come up from that, that's the choroid body. So the actual part that looks like it has the little fingers that are coming out that look like a sun, that's the actual choroid body. So don't confuse that with the iris. Sometimes that can get confusing, the difference between them. So the iris kind of dips down into this hole, that's the pupil. Let's see. Oh, cranial nerve 2.
Are you serious?
So cranial nerve 2 is going to be below all of this little fat. It's this little stalk like thing, that's the cranial nerve. And if you actually look in the eye, there's a part, and you can see it in a point right here where it's kind of bunched up. That's the blind spot. That's where the nerves and the blood vessels exit the eye. So if you actually stick a pin through that and travels through, it's going to come out the optic nerve. So you can tell that that's the spot, that's the blind spot. Right in there. So it's like where it kind of bunches and gathers. If I was to actually take this with the probe and like scrape the retina off and just kind of hang the eye like this, it would hang at that point. That's where it's like fixed down into the eye. So that's it. I think that's all.